function, vibes immaculate. Walking, you turn your head. All real, I ain't pretend. Here for good, I ain't on trend. We only ascending cause we made an end. Blue skies, flying like an eagle, that's why I'm so high. Blue skies, take a moment just to realize.
Yeah. Look at the blue skies. Wake up in the morning when I see the sunrise. Hell of a time, feel so divine. Beauty of the world, I truly see inside my mind. To my surprise, I feel so alive. I know that my chakras inside are aligned. Made up my mind, can't waste no more time. I stayed on my pivot, this hill I must climb. Don't need no animosity, just love and generosity. I live off reciprocity. Blue skies is what I got to see. Must go where there's no finding me. Blue skies, blue skies, blue skies, blue skies, blue skies, blue skies, skies.
Blue skies, yeah, we always feel so skies. Everybody trying to be what's the one somewhere to see. We're just chilling tonight and in the sky. Me and my friends were different, grabbing cats, sipping and just taking it, waving, skying and drinking it. Blue skies, yeah, yeah, yeah. Ain't no hello without goodbye. Blue skies.
Welcome to KMSU TV and Radio. You might be asking, what is KMSU? It is the brand name for the MSU Broadcasting Department, home to the many young and aspiring communication majors here at Minot State University. When joining KMSU, there will be many different opportunities to get involved. Students will get a hands-on learning experience and lots of future career fields, like the production of content, being a leader in public relations, operating social media, or even writing and journalism. KMSU is also home to the local public access channel, where students can produce the weekly campus TV show and talk on live radio. From us here at KMSU, we hope to see you along the way.
Person that I go to when it all went wrong. You used to be the one that taught me out of just giving up. You were the first person that I told about my breakups on. Yet you're the same person that's making me wanna write this one. 'Cause everything that brings me down seems to build you up. And everything you say makes me feel I'm not enough. Maybe making me feel worse makes you feel better about yourself.
Hello, and welcome back to the Inside the Dam podcast. Thank you for tuning in to this latest edition of the show. The podcast is produced by KMSU TV and Radio as part of a partnership with Minot State University Athletics. We are glad to be joined by more talented and fantastic guests reigning from all the Beaver teams on campus. The Inside the Dam podcast is proudly sponsored by Papa John's. They have 2 locations in Minot and the Air Force Base. Search for Papa John's in Minot online through your device and seek out any deals that are currently available. They can also be reached at 701-852-7272. That is 852-PAPA to place an order over the phone. We thank Admir and the Papa John's crew for their tremendous patronage. We will be right back with our next guest. High above 11th Avenue, also known as Beaver Boulevard, for another Monday in the series. It is the Inside the Dam podcast. We are on to episode number 8, the 27th of the entire series. And good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are glad to have you back on board here live from the KMSU podcast studios. I'm your host, Cole Clementich, proud to bring you guys another fantastic show where we bring on some amazing and talented guests hailing from Minot State University Athletics. And before we get started here, as usual, Papa John's, they're the premier sponsor of the Inside the Dam podcast. Hit them up on their website, search for any deals that they may have going on. Search Papa John's in Minot on your device. They can also be reached via the phone lines over 701-852-7272. That's 852-PAPA to place an order over the phone. We thank Admir and Papa John's for their patronage, as always, when we go live each and every Monday night. Thank you all for tuning in on the KMSU podcast live stream. We're going to get started here on the show. Expect tonight we got players from volleyball, women's soccer, and women's basketball, all from different backgrounds. One of them a graduate student in sports management. We also have a returning guest tonight on the show, so stay tuned briefly there. And also, one of the women's basketball players just got named to the all-tournament team from the D2 Tip-Off Classic, so you will not want to miss that. But kicking us off here tonight, back on the show again this semester from the volleyball team and a nursing major from Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Emily Kotelnikoff joins us here tonight. Emily, thank you for being on the show tonight.
Yeah, thank you for having me again.
Yeah, Emily, they just missed you so much that had to get you back on. So, but yeah, since we've talked last, a lot of things that, you were able to kind of showcase your story off a little bit. Let's talk, briefly, this upcoming weekend, senior night, and it's going to be emotional, and there's going to be, a lot of course, emotions riding high in that one. Just as you look ahead from this very Monday night, what are you embracing most about this opportunity?
I mean, it's a little bittersweet being a senior myself, knowing that it's about to come to an end, but knowing that we have 2 more winnable games left, just hoping to end strong and finish out my career. So,
and those 2 games in particular against Bemidji and Minnesota Crookston, the senior day matchup, by the way, 6 p.m. first serve, and then you guys got Crookston, who you already beat them once this season. Just kind of preview this weekend, like you said, winnable games, teams that have been kind of, struggling on the latter half of the standings. What are your initial thoughts there as you guys welcome them to the home court?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, we beat Crookston earlier in the season, so that's a game that I think we're looking to hope to win again. They're a very beatable team. I know they're kind of down in the ranks right now, so hoping to take advantage of that. Same with Bemidji. We've had some close games with them, too, throughout the years. So. And
rumor has it there's also a toy drive happening for the Horn of Plenty, so fans who can get in, I can actually show that right now. Ignore the stream starting soon, text there, but fans can get in with a donation of a brand new toy into the event, 6 p.m. against Bemidji. How cool is that, Emily, to be able to be a part of, something cool like that, just a kind gesture for the public?
Yeah, it's really awesome that we're able to help out the community and stuff like that. Just know that we can do some good with our sport.
No, that is awesome. Can never go wrong with a nice, donation gesture from the public eye, and that's always, again, never go wrong with that. And just building off, up to this point, you've gone on, so much has happened, since that first game. Just kind of, recap your season from a personal standpoint. How do you think, did you find, things that you were able to succeed in, or maybe things that you wished you maybe had done better in? Talk us more through that.
Yeah, so, since last time I've been here, we've had quite a few games. Season's been a little up and down. We've definitely improved a lot from last year. We're winning more sets than we did last year, so that's been good. I think we would have liked to win a few more games, but, again, hoping to win a few this weekend and end strong. But other than that, I think it's been going, so.
That first set, let's take a look at this past weekend. That first set against Mankato, I mean, you guys, you had it rolling. What was clicking for you guys, and what do you hope to take away from that and move it towards this weekend?
Yeah, I think everything was working. Everyone was doing their job. We had that confidence and that momentum, and we just ran with it. The hitters were putting the ball down, and the passers were getting the passes up. And we just got to run with that confidence and use that momentum when we have it.
And with these final 2 home games, what have you taken away as you approach, what's seemingly the end? What have you taken away from, the past years being on the court and even in a classroom or just anywhere on campus?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a learning experience, to say the least. These last 4 years have been amazing, just meeting everyone at Minot State, professors, students, teammates. Everyone's been awesome and just been a great part of the journey. Taking away just hardworking and stuff like that, team aspect. And sucks that it has to end, but excited for what's going to happen next. So,
name some of your best memories from the past couple of years, too.
I don't know if I have any specific ones. Just being on the road, with the girls, I think that's always the best part. The bus trips, as much as we dread them sometimes, they can be kind of long. Just those late night talks, the games that we play, there's those kind of memories, laughing with the girls. Those are going to be the best ones.
The camaraderie is always the best.
For sure.
Talk also about maybe some of the most funniest moments you've maybe had with a teammate or two, or do you recall any? This is a safe space, by the way, to call out any names. Maybe mention a few things that maybe weren't some bright moments, but maybe caused a little laughter.
I think probably this last weekend, one that made me laugh pretty hard. One of my teammates, Jana, we were in the middle of our Mankato match, and we were kind of down a little bit, and out of nowhere, she went back to serve, and she served it underneath the net, which was kind of funny. So that just kind of made us laugh and, kind of just shake it off. Next one, it kind of just brought the momentum up, like the happiness up. So, yeah,
I'm not responsible, but I will just say this, build up a little team chemistry, bring a little laughter there, just laugh it off. Like you said, have a good time with it. But, so, you mentioned your best memories and just going forward, anything, of course, with all of that you've gained through your experience and what you've learned, of course, what do you hope to maybe accomplish? Like, is there any, last minute bucket list items that, you wish you hope to accomplish, or are you just there in for the ride and, just whatever happens, happens?
I mean, just soak in every moment. I think this weekend, just, last games at home and in front of our great crowd with our teammates. No specific goal, I think just go out, have fun, play loose, and hopefully add a few wins to our roster there.
There you go. Yeah, hoping to end off on a high note, certainly. Going on here, before we send you off here, did you have any plans? Did you do anything special for Halloween, anything for the holidays? Obviously, Canada has had a few holidays back a couple weeks back, and did you celebrate any?
So, I mean, for Halloween, dressed up with my friends, watched some scary movies. That was fun. We had Thanksgiving in Canada, so I missed that, unfortunately, because I was here.
Man.
But I did hear from my grandma that she will be making turkey for American Thanksgiving when I get to come home.
Sweet.
So we'll
That's
celebrate
awesome.
that as well. Double Thanksgiving.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that for sure. Yeah, always a good time to see family and, just to be able to catch up, after a long break there. But, with that being said, Emily, again, 6 p.m. against Bemidji on Friday and 2 p.m., I believe, against Crookston. Yep. Looking ahead at the schedule. Anything else you'd like to mention to the viewers watching or listening?
I don't think so. Just come out and support your seniors this weekend.
There you have it, folks. That was junior Emily Kotelnikoff from the volleyball team. And Emily, thank you for your time today, and we wish you all the best. And, of course, like she said, go out and support the seniors this Friday and in their last home game ever on Saturday. Before we take a quick break here, folks, let us remind you about all that Papa John's has to offer. That is right. They have good pizza, good food, good snack options, and they're certainly bound to have some deals that they may have going on. Again, hit up Papa John's in Minot on your device. They can also be reached at 701-852-7272. That's 852-PAPA to place an order over the phone. Again, Papa John's, the premier sponsor of the Inside the Dam podcast. We thank Admir and the crew over there for sponsoring. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, folks, be sure to tune in as one of the next student athletes coming up, either a grad student from the women's soccer team or one of the junior women's basketball players, also a local product as well. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be back after this quick break. Hello, and welcome back to the Inside the Dam podcast. Thank you for tuning in to this latest edition of the show. The podcast is produced by KMSU TV and Radio as part of a partnership with Minot State University Athletics. We are glad to be joined by more talented and fantastic guests reigning from all the Beaver teams on campus. The Inside the Dam podcast is proudly sponsored by Papa John's. They have 2 locations in Minot and the Air Force Base. Search for Papa John's in Minot online through your device and seek out any deals that are currently available. They can also be reached at 701-852-7272. That is 852-PAPA to place an order over the phone. We thank Admir and the Papa John's crew for their tremendous patronage. We will be right back with our next guest. And welcome back to the Inside the Dam podcast, ladies and gentlemen. We just got done chatting with Emily Kotelnikoff and all of her story and what she looks to accomplish this weekend as, senior night fast approaching. And all that being said, we're going to move on to our next guest. But before that, let me tell you all about Papa John's. Yes, great pizza, great food. As always, we thank Admir and the crew over there for their patronage of the Inside the Dam podcast. They sponsor us each and every Monday night. We go live here in the KMSU podcast studios. Hit them up on their website. Search for any deals that they have going on. Search Papa John's in Minot on your device. They also have a location on the Air Force Base. So if you're watching from up north, maybe that can pleasure your fancy a little bit there. They can also be reached at 701-852-7272. That's 852-PAPA to place an order over the phone. Again, big thanks to Papa John's and company. Our next guest is a junior and a local native of Mandan here in the great state of North Dakota. Just transferred out from Bismarck State College from women's basketball. Sydney Gustavsson joins us. Sydney, thanks for being on here tonight.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, Sydney. So, just kind of your first appearance here. A little different as we had Emily on previously in another show before, but your first time here on the Inside the Dam podcast. Just talk about, how you've been doing. Guys just got started on a brand new season, new team for you, whole new experience, new coaching staff. You're still a little familiar with the Minot area, but you come obviously from Bismarck State and having lived in Mandan. Just tell us, talk through the whole process, how you've been going this start of this school year.
Yeah, so, coming in as a junior to a new school, it's almost like freshman year all over again. So coming into the basketball team, they're very welcoming. It's a great atmosphere to be around. They make the transition really easy. And so me being in basketball, you're around them 24/7 every day. So it was a very comforting transition for me. There were other transfers that came in from JUCOs too, so that also helped a lot with the transition. But getting started here, just having our first games and everything's starting to come along. Yeah,
you bring up a good point. Coach has been bringing in a lot of new transfers for the team, more than in past years usually. But just kind of talk, what early adjustments, what have you found a liking so far with either on the court or on campus? What have you seemed to have enjoyed so far here at Minot State?
Yeah, so, those other 2 transfers were actually roommates, so we all live together.
There you go.
Yeah, and so we become close that way too, but just being around, all of them and making good. We're a very young team, so having that adjustment with the transfers coming in, Coach Brandt needed some, upperclassmen just for leadership, but also, to come with have a college background also, I think. But with how he rolls with his game and how we came in with the scoring mentality and the leadership, like I said, I think it's all adjusting pretty well.
That is good, and to be able to be a part of an environment like that certainly makes the transition easier. Do you have any past experience with Minot? You being from Mandan and having played at Bismarck State, anything that you recall off the top of your head?
I went to Mandan High School, so we played the Magicians up here in high school. We would always come up here.
Nice.
They were, my senior year. They were a tough team. But that's pretty much what I got from them. But why not Minot, I guess,
Why not?
all around, yeah.
Yeah, that's more like it. Ain't nothing against Mandan, though. But, yeah, that's, always great to stay close to home. Do you see family often when you're traveling out and about?
Oh, yeah. We just went to Billings, and my mom and grandma got to come out, so I know they love watching me, and I'm a big family girl, so I love, going home when I can and stuff. But, yeah, my family is, my biggest supporters, so I'll see them a lot.
Just a quick trip down Highway 83, as easy as that, Sydney. But, yeah, talking about your playing career thus far, just getting started with Minot State, you guys, let's talk about the games against who you played, like Angelo State, Florida Tech, and I'm blanking on the other one, but you guys had a slew of games, the D2 Tip-Off Classic this past weekend in Montana. Just talk about how that went for you guys, and trying to get a feeling out process early and often, trying to see what works, what doesn't, and how did that go overall as a team?
Yeah, so I think there were like 10 or 12, I can't remember, teams there, but half of them are ranked nationally in the D2 division. So our first game, Tampa, they were ranked 5.
Tampa, that's what it was. Okay.
Yeah. They were ranked 5 in the nation, but man, we definitely should have had that game. I think we lost by like 6 or 10 when it came to free throws at the end, but being our first game coming out, I thought we played very well. Everybody just get in the feel of how everybody else's game goes and everything. And then our second game, we wanted it bad, so we came out. I think going over the weekend, we realized that coming out of halftime, our third quarters need a little work as we come out a little slow. But, just from our first 3 games and having tough opponents, I think we all know where we need to go from there. And, you can't go much lower than what we did. So just getting into the gym and, having another game mentality. So we're ready for that.
Yeah, those halftime adjustments, those can be a little tricky sometimes. Teams can, come out hot sometimes coming out of the locker room. But, you mentioned also that, actually I looked at some of those those headlines on the press releases, and I'm like almost nearing upset against whoever it was. I spaced it out already, but no, reading that, I was like, oh, wow, these girls, they got something going so far. And, just heading into conference season, you girls obviously have more coming up this weekend. What do you guys hope to, maybe accomplish, kind of get settled in now that you guys have the first however many games, and just kind of talk more on, what do you guys hope to work on, accomplish, and as you guys get more comfortable and heading into conference season?
Yeah, so our big thing, and I think Minot basketball, is championship mentality. There hasn't been a lot of winning seasons recently, I feel like, and that's, we want to win. This group is very competitive. We have a lot of grit and everything when it comes to practice. So I think heading into this weekend in Missouri, we are looking at a lot of different things. So I know we go over goals a lot in practice and everything. So I think going in and playing as a team, having a lot of confidence in each other to shoot the ball or, give that assist, I think we really want to play as a team, and we definitely can do that.
During that Division II Tip-Off Classic, you yourself had a couple of nice games. You actually got named to the all-tournament team. Talk about how big of an honor that is for you personally, and, how do you hope to build off of that?
Yeah, it's a great honor coming in, but I definitely couldn't do it without, my teammates and everything. They that's how you get points usually with other with those assists and everything. But yeah, I mean, coaching wise too, I have to know that they have a lot of confidence in me. They know I can score, get an assist or anything like that, and I'm gonna just work my hardest. And I think once I work really hard a game, it rebounds off everybody, so somebody else would do that too, and it's all gonna come together.
To paraphrase my favorite NBA player in the league, Nikola Jokic, an assist makes two people happy. So that is a good mindset to have going in there. And yeah, so, like I said, you guys, just getting underway, getting your feet wet on the road. You guys actually have first home game not this Saturday, but the next Saturday after that, the 18th. Just kind of walk us through, how exciting is that to be, your first chance to be able to play in a packed or the giant, dome environment that is here on campus.
Yeah, so I think we played Billings, and we were in Billings, and we got to watch them play a little. And, of course, they're a tough team. They're nationally ranked, too. And, I mean, we may got picked last in our conference, but nobody knows what's coming, We're out to get revenge on that. But not a lot of D2 schools has a big dome like this, so it's super cool to, come in and play in that atmosphere. And I hope we get a lot of fans out this year, so I'm stoked just to have a home game.
No, I agree with you there. You guys definitely, in my opinion, have something brewing because honestly, the team, if you ask me, overachieved last year in a sense, and they won some games that they maybe shouldn't have, but they looked good in a lot of games there too. So looking to build off of that, Sydney, for sure. Best of luck to you guys in that aspect. Moving on into the classroom. So have you picked out your major yet? Have you found, or did you transfer over any credits? What do you like to study? Coming over from Bismarck State. Talk about your classroom work.
Yeah, so I decided to go into nursing. So, I'm just getting all the human anatomy, biology, that kind of stuff. I know you need some diversity classes here for Minot too, just a requirement. So I'm in pretty much them and hope to start next fall into the nursing program here. So
nice. There you go. Wishing you the best of luck in that. And, obviously for the good grades as well, putting the student in student athlete for sure. Sydney, before we let you go here, anything else you'd like to mention? We said, of course, the first home game, not this Saturday, but the next Saturday. Anything for the fans that they may want to know about before we let you go?
Yeah, just we have a different mentality this year. This culture's brewing up, and it's competitive out there. We have 10 girls that want to play, that can play, and so we're gonna give them a little something this year.
Love to hear that, Sydney. Well, that is all we have for this segment. Again, thank you so much for being on, and go Beavers this upcoming weekend and next weekend as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, and there you have it, folks. You just heard junior guard Sydney Gustavsson from Mandan, North Dakota, North Dakota's finest athletes coming out of high school, and a transfer, of course, from Bismarck State College. We're going to take maybe a couple more breaks here. I have not predetermined that yet, but before we get into our final guest of the show here, guys, before break, Papa John's would like to let you guys know that, they have awesome pizza, awesome food. Check them out on their website. Search for any deals that they may have going on. Search Papa John's in Minot on your device. They can also be reached at 701-852-7272, or in other words, 852-PAPA. That is how you can place an order over the phone. We thank Admir and the crew over there on South Broadway for sponsoring the Inside the Dam podcast. We're going to take another break. When we come back, our final guest, a graduate student majoring in sports management and member of the women's soccer team. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll be back after this. Hello, and welcome back to the Inside the Dam podcast. Thank you for tuning in to this latest edition of the show. The podcast is produced by KMSU TV and Radio as part of a partnership with Minot State University Athletics. We are glad to be joined by more talented and fantastic guests reigning from all the Beaver teams on campus. The Inside the Dam podcast is proudly sponsored by Papa John's. They have 2 locations in Minot and the Air Force Base. Search for Papa John's in Minot online through your device and seek out any deals that are currently available. They can also be reached at 701-852-7272. That is 852-PAPA to place an order over the phone. We thank Admir and the Papa John's crew for their tremendous patronage. We will be right back with our next guest. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Inside the Dam podcast. Again, this is episode number 8 of season 2, and I believe the 27th total. So, yeah, we are just strolling along here each and every Monday. We are very fortunate to go live. Of course, you guys know Minot State University Athletics partnering with the broadcasting department, also known as KMSU TV and Radio. And before we introduce our third and final guest of the night here, folks, let us tell you about Papa John's, as, again, they are the premier sponsor of the Inside the Dam podcast. Hit them up on their website. Search for any and all deals that they have going on. Search Papa John's in Minot. They can also be reached at 701-852-7272, or, let me rephrase that, 852-PAPA to place an order over the phone. We thank Admir and Papa John's over on South Broadway. There's also a location on the Air Force Base. So if you're watching or listening from that area of town, why not? Give them a shout and order some good pizza and food as well. And now for the final guest. As promised here, folks, she is a graduate student and a grad assistant for Minot State University Athletics, majoring in sports management from Bogota, Colombia, and a member of the women's soccer team, Maria Pacheco, and one of my fellow colleagues as well. Maria, thanks for being on today.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, Maria. So, yeah, just kind of, we got a lot of avenues to roll with this here. So a little fun fact here, guys. I work closely with Maria as a graduate assistant in communications, and we get to do a lot of cool things. So, but before we get into that, Maria, you're a member of the women's soccer team. You just got done playing a season here in Minot at the beautiful Herb Parker Stadium. Talk about, how that went for you, and just kind of, how you felt overall after getting that season wrapped up.
Well, of course we couldn't make it to playoffs, which is unfortunately, but I think with the pass of the season, at the end we were a better team. We had better chemistry. We found out our style and how we want to play next season. So I think at the end of the season, we have different mindset, which is gonna help us a lot for the spring season and next season. It was really excited to be one of the oldest players because I put a lot of pressure, not a lot, but a little bit of pressure being like the adult and try to give them what I know about my past experience. But I love to do that. I love to help people. I love to help my teammates and try to make an impact just for them and for the team. So it was good. Not the results we want to, but for sure we improved as a team.
Yeah, and you made a big impact, actually. You scored a couple goals that ended up being game-winning goals in 17 games for Minot State. You were also a team captain. Actually, you transferred over from a different school. Talk about, making the transition from there to Minot, and how much did that, past experience, help you along in the move to the Magic City?
Well, making my 2 goals was something for sure that I was waiting for my whole career. Because my past years I didn't have the chance to score. So being over there in that position and helping the team that way, of course, was a really big goal that I achieved. But also having the team was something that helped for sure to get that goal done. The transition from grad student or undergrad student and grad student and a soccer player was a big difference. For sure, at the beginning, I wasn't sure about it, but I'm really happy to be here. I'm really happy to be here with different people, amazing people for sure, and also be having the opportunity to play with my sister again. Something that we were trying to have before since we started to play soccer. So that's something that is also that make me happy. And transferring from Franklin Pierce was something that gave me a lot of experience just to bring it here, and for sure trying to make the team better and help with them.
Yeah, and you make a good point there that you're actually your sister. You have a sister on the team, Manuela. Talk about how cool is that to be able to share all those moments with her.
Oh my God. Well, we started to play when we were kids. Being in the United States, something that we really want from the beginning. We actually didn't think we were gonna play together again in the United States, like being in a different country. But just having her here for my family, for me, is something that I really appreciate a lot. Those hard moments, having someone that you trust is something like that I really appreciate, and I'm really happy. And also playing soccer is an opportunity that I don't know a lot of sisters had. So it's a big opportunity, and I really appreciate the opportunity that Coach DJ gave us to play together.
No, that is awesome. Always a nice gesture too, and be able to, a nice move there by, Coach Perez, and for Minot State to be welcoming of that opportunity for you guys. And so a little bit already of what we got going on, but as grad assistants for the people watching, we have many roles within the athletic department for Minot State. We just got done doing basketball stats, or practicing that here, actually, just a floor below us in the Swain Hall gym. So, Maria, tell us some of your roles in as a grad assistant, and also talk to us about the classes you're taking in sports management. Some probably different than what I'm taking right now, but tell us about the experience away from the soccer pitch.
As a GA, for sure, I've been doing different things. One of them is basketball stats, something that I didn't do before. For sure, it's something challenging, but I love it. I love being doing those stuff because I'm learning a lot. I also did hockey stats. Was my first time watching a hockey game.
Nice.
So it was so fun to do it. I learned a lot. I've been learning a lot in this GA position. And just being around of people that can help me with experience, with knowledge, with new things is something that I loved. So yeah, about the classroom, the transition from undergrad and grad student is big, because as a grad student, the classroom is people with really different backgrounds, a lot of experience, different ages. So I've learned the different point of view that a lot of people can have. I also, about like the classes, since it's sport management, I've learned a lot more about leadership, communication, something that I wasn't good at before. But now I feel more confident talking. I feel more confident having a conversation in front of people. So yeah, the classroom, definitely that part is challenging because there's a lot of people with a lot of experience that I don't have, but for sure it's going to help me in the future.
And I can advocate for you there, Maria, because I'm also been taking in some leadership and communication aspects for some of those classes, and I actually learned the difference between efficient and effective, and that I've been able to take that with me for a couple months now. But like you said, it's a great environment to be in, and honestly, in my totally unbiased opinion, it is a great program that I think everyone should take a look into. And working in the field, like being able to say you get the chance to work in sports, how do you feel, to be able to say that, and just to grow, be able to, like you said, learn new things, have a passion for it, and being able to expand your horizon a little bit. How cool is that? You can say that, put somebody in your mind about working in sports. How cool is that?
It's really cool. I feel grateful for sure, because it's an opportunity that I know a lot of people have. But just being around of a lot of sports, not even just soccer, learning about sports that are not even in my country, like ice hockey. Um, I'm really grateful because I'm learning a lot, and for sure it's gonna give me a lot of experience in the future. Um, but just grateful because it's an opportunity that I didn't think I was gonna be able to have as a soccer player. But now that I have it, I really appreciate it, and I'm gonna be there to keep learning.
Yeah, you and me both, because there's a lot that is going on, and athletics keeps us busy, and there's always games happening each and every week. Sometimes there could be nothing until either Saturday or Sunday, but regardless, each week is different, and there's always something new bound to happen, and so that is good stuff, Maria, as always. And with that, all of that you've been able to take in with GA and classroom work, what do you hope, even in soccer, what do you hope to, accomplish? What is your goal? What do you, maybe a couple of years down the line, where do you see yourself in going into, where do you hope to work at or for, or, what do you hope to maybe aspire to be someday after grad school, and, just taking all that together with it?
That's a hard question because at this point, I'm thinking a lot about what I want to do in the future. Something related to soccer for sure. I'm open to other things in other sports, but just being around soccer is something that I want to be probably doing stats, or if I have the opportunity, I would like to be a professional soccer team. But if that doesn't go how I hope, I just want to be around soccer. Soccer is something that I loved and I've been loving my whole life. So just being around soccer, doing the stats or analytics, or helping a team, a pro team, a manager, something like that. I'm hoping something like that happen in my life in a couple of years, or hopefully soon.
Yeah, for sure. It may seem like a loaded question, but yeah, there's opportunities around the world upon us, and that this is the nice thing about working in sports. For you in particular, you being a student, not only a student athlete, but also working as working for the athletes as well. Just talk about how cool is that, and like you said, staying in the game of soccer. You're going to take a lot of that, of what you're learning now, and apply it to that in the future, which is going to be tremendous help. But just how cool is that to be able to not only play as an athlete, but also assist the athletes as well?
Just being around of a lot of athletes, something that I loved. So the opportunity of being a player, but also a worker in the athletic department, I love it because it's just the environment that I have close to the athletes. Just the game day energy, the practice, see how they prepare to the game day, and just helping them, at least in the back, is something that I'm really happy to do every time I have the opportunity. So it's really cool to have the opportunity to just be a student, but also a GA worker with the athletic department.
No, that is cool. Certainly, each and every day going to work as a student and putting in practice hours as a student athlete, playing in games, and also working for, to be able to learn new things. Always kind of spitballing here, but yeah, Maria, that's a lot of great work experience, great playing experience. Before we send, was there another thing you wanted to mention?
I was going to say that for sure is something that helped me to do a time management. Cause
that too.
Yeah, I have to do homework, go to class, go to practice when I had practice, then help with the athletic department. For sure give me a lot of time management skills. But I love it. I just love it, being busy all the time, being around people, being around of the athletes, being around of different teams, something that I just loved, and I would like to keep doing it until the end of my grad program. So yeah, but time management for sure is something that I'm learning more.
I am with you there. Yeah, great connection, a great boost of sports experience all around, working in different angles. Maria, before we let you go here, we kind of talked about, the transition coming to Minot, but, from Colombia to the States, what did you learn any or have any culture shocks, or, what have you had to learn about the States that is maybe different back at home?
For sure, the language. When I was a kid, I really dreamed to be in the United States, but I didn't know it was going to be that hard. I didn't know English when I came to the United States. I learned a little bit, but not enough to be a student. So it was hard, but culture shock, yeah, it's really different. However, it's not like there's nothing wrong with it. I've been learning how behave or how just being around people here, because from Colombia to here is a big difference. But I think United States give me opportunity that not a lot of people in my country have, and it's something that I really grateful for it, because things in my country are not that easy sometimes. So being here helped me a lot. It helps with my family. I just miss a lot of my family for sure. But I just being here in the United States give me a lot of help me to grow up a lot, mentally strength as well. So yeah, just the transition from Colombia to the United States for sure was a lot, but nothing is wrong with it. I love both. I can be there really happy, and I can be here really happy.
We're always learning one thing or another, something new every day, and not just in sports, but life in general can always be of a great experience. Maria, we appreciate your time on the Inside the Dam podcast. Any last things that you want to mention to the fans watching?
Be ready for the next season, because we're going to win the conference, and we're going to make it to the Nationals. Be ready for women's soccer.
There's the prediction there, ladies and gentlemen. Minot State women's soccer bounce back next season. Be on the lookout for that for sure. And, of course, all home games taking place at Herb Parker Stadium. They just got wrapped up in their 2023 season. But, again, folks, you just heard Maria Pacheco, graduate student, women's soccer player, majoring in sports management, and a grad assistant for Minot State University Athletics. And that is going to do it for the three guests today. But we're going to take one more quick break. When we come back, I'm going to be able to recap the show and also showcase a couple of events happening this weekend in athletics. And Maria, if you want, feel free to stay for that part, but you don't have to. You can be on your way out. But again, let's tell us, you guys, one more time, actually a few more times, Papa John's Pizza. They got the deals. They got great food, great pizza as always. Hit them up on their website and search Papa John's in Minot on your device. They can also be reached out at 701-852-7272. That is 852-PAPA to place an order over the phone. We thank Admir and Papa John's for sponsoring each and every episode that we go live. We're going to take one more quick break. We'll be back after this. Hello, and welcome back to the Inside the Dam podcast. Thank you for tuning in to this latest edition of the show. The podcast is produced by KMSU TV and Radio as part of a partnership with Minot State University Athletics. We are glad to be joined by more talented and fantastic guests reigning from all the Beaver teams on campus. The Inside the Dam podcast is proudly sponsored by Papa John's. They have 2 locations in Minot and the Air Force Base. Search for Papa John's in Minot online through your device and seek out any deals that are currently available. They can also be reached at 701-852-7272. That is 852-PAPA to place an order over the phone. We thank Admir and the Papa John's crew for their tremendous patronage. We will be right back with our next guest. And a hearty welcome back to you guys on the Inside the Dam podcast. Again, I'm your host, Cole Clementich. Always a pleasure to bring you guys some great content in and around Minot State University Athletics. We just got done talking with Maria Pacheco, women's soccer player and a graduate student in sports management and also a grad assistant for Minot State University Athletics. I'm very fortunate to see her every day as we're doing a lot of good things for the department and, just putting in new work, new experiences. It's a learning process, but it's also, once we get into the groove, there's always a lot of great moments and experience that comes with that. But before I recap the show here, guys, just like last week, we're going to showcase some of the big events coming up this week in Minot State University Athletics. If you tuned in earlier on the pre-show, we had these slides up. So again, just a brief reminder, if it says stream starting soon, just ignore that. That was part of the pre-show that we had going on today, or the kind of the I don't know what else to call it other than pre-show, but it's kind of a way to showcase some of the events going on this week for the Minot State Beavers, but also to check to make sure everything is in working order. But enough of that chit-chat. Let's talk some upcoming home games. Like we talked with Emily earlier, volleyball is down to their final games of the season, both at home in the MSU Dome. Senior night versus Bemidji State, and then University of Minnesota Crookston, the Golden Eagles, 2 o'clock Saturday. And then it's already mentioned on there, but 6 p.m. first serve Friday. If I didn't mention that the first time, now you know, but it shows it there right on the graphic. And speaking of, like we talked earlier, toy drive. So get into the MSU volleyball match this weekend versus Bemidji State with the donation of a brand new toy. All of them will be going to the Horn of Plenty and the Trinity Health Foundation. Again, that is this Friday, 6 p.m. first serve inside the MSU Dome. And then Beavers on the road. I do want to clarify real quickly here first. I do apologize. I missed cross country on this list last week. I was not sure if they were competing, but eventually they did in the NCAA Central Regional meet there. I can actually look up some of the stats for you guys there that they collected. But for this week, Beavers on the road, women's basketball, another stretch of games on the road. I actually missed out on where these games are taking place, but you can see here Fort Hays on the 10th at 2:45. And Southern Nazarene, November 11th. That's an fairly early tip-off, 12:30. And then men's basketball, they kick off their season against the Newman Jets. That'll be a Sunday tip-off at 3 o'clock. And then continuing on here as I'm pulling up the schedule, trying to get it all loaded up here together while we wait for that. Football is back for their last game of the season against Winona State. The Warriors kickoff is at 1 p.m. That'll be taking place in Winona. And the Beavers, one last chance, hopefully ending off on a high note. And then wrestling will be in action. The women's at the Life, I believe it's called the Life Open, is where they will be going off against there. That'll be a 9 early starts, by the way, for both the women's and men's. So the women's at the Life Open, and then the men's at the Dakota Wesleyan Open. Both 9 a.m. start times for that. And really lots of good stuff there happening this week in Minot State University Athletics. Still struggling to get the schedule pulled up here. Here we go. Now I think I can get it rolling onto my phone as well. So yeah, hello guys. Welcome back in. So yeah, men's basketball. I forgot to mention that other one on 6 p.m. November 11th, this Saturday. That is against Rogers State. Pardon me. I was trying to look at the exact matchups and team names. But yeah, Rogers State tip-off, 6 p.m. that Saturday. Men's and men's getting started, women's basketball, their second weekend of action. Wrestling at the Life Open and Dakota Wesleyan. And then, of course, football wraps up their season. Hard to believe we are already done with football. Oh, pardon me there. Hard to believe we're already done with football season after this weekend. We also want to wish a good luck to the Minot High Magicians football team as they will be competing in the Dakota Bowl against the Fargo Shanley Deacons, 6:40 p.m. kickoff Central Time. A lot of you guys probably watching or listening are alumni of Minot High or currently students or faculty at Minot High School. Again, wishing you guys all the best of luck there for the Magicians. And also, I forgot to make a graphic for it. I should get one next week. But we want to wish a congrats to fellow friend of the program, Isaiah Bigby, for becoming the all-time leader in tackles for Minot State football. Carson Psycho is actually just right behind him, as I'm going to look to see or check the numbers for exact, make sure I have the numbers correct, excuse me. So yeah, Isaiah Bigby, all-time leader in tackles for football, just got it this past weekend. It is up to 229 and counting, of course. So he is the king as far as tackling, the art of tackling goes for the sport of football. Carson Psycho actually 5th on this list with 182. He gets 9 more, and he gets himself up to 4th on that list. So, but job well done to those guys. Congrats on the Beavers, to Big B and Psycho on their recent accomplishments. But that is it for events happening this week. And of course, recognition to Minot State athletes, and of course, some other, community events happening around sports here in the Magic City. But to recap the show, we had the last guest, we had Maria Pacheco. Again, she's a graduate student and a graduate assistant for Minot State Athletics and a member of the women's soccer team. We also had Emily Kotelnikoff. This was her second appearance, believe it or not, this semester. Member of the volleyball team and one of the few seniors being celebrated. She, along with Jenna Paulin and Tay Beckel, those should be the only 3. Hopefully, I'm not forgetting someone. If I do, in the editing process, I will take it to Adobe and add that extra name in there. I do apologize if I forget someone, but Tay Beckel, Emily Kotelnikoff, and Jenna Paulin, the seniors being honored for volleyball this weekend. And then, of course, the guest in the middle, Sydney Gustavsson, having a good start to her Minot State career. Member of women's basketball, plays at the guard position. And one last time here, folks, finally, yes, one last time to Papa John's. Big shout out to them as they have been gracious to support the Inside the Dam podcast, all their patronage and all the pizzas they provide on occasion. We thank Admir and the crew over on South Broadway. Again, they also have a location at the Air Force Base, If you're listening or watching from that side of town, feel free to give them a shout, as they also have great pizza and foods as well. But hit them up on their website, search for any deals, search Papa John's in Minot on your device. They can also be reached at 701-852-7272, or to reiterate, that's 852-PAPA to place an order over the phone. Great show it was tonight. Thank you guys for tuning in. As always, thank you for tuning in on the KMSU podcast live stream. I see we have a comment there. Shout out to you guys. Thank you, as always, for the support and tuning in, and of course, to listen to your favorite student athletes or family members as well. But that is all she wrote. Thank you guys, as always. We'll be back, I believe, next week. Not sure if Thanksgiving week we're going to have a show, but we'll cross that bridge when we get there, but should be back next week. Again, I'm your host, Cole Clementich. On behalf of Minot State University Athletics and KMSU TV and Radio, I'll be signing off. You guys have a good rest of your night.